Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us on this fine Wednesday. Hump day. Yeah, bro.
All right.
It's another sesh in our free Fundy webinar series where Amy and Andy, Sunshine and Rain Photography, live from a pretty chilly but very rad Aurora Grande, California. And we're here with Anna, who's back for her second webinar. She is based out of Naples, Florida, and she rocks weddings and portraits. Her biz is as legit as her photography. Xana Photography rocks. And today she's talking about 5 features of Fundy that make her money because you need software that does just that. Anna, you're amazing. How are you, honey?
I'm doing well. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining in with us or, watching later because it is the middle of the day. It is 12 p.m. Eastern time for me, so it's either your lunchtime or some of you have probably just woken up because usually I'd be up. Usually I'd wake up around like 7 o'clock, but I will lay in bed for an hour and like ignore my responsibilities and then I'll be up.
Nice.
That's good.
So how's everything with you guys?
It's good. We're busy and basically we just opened our studio in I think mid-October. So, but it's cracking. We had 4 sessions last week and we have a couple more. Then we're off for a wedding this weekend and then we're back. So we're actually booking into February. So we're pretty booked up.
Yay!
But awesome,
Yeah, so grateful.
Yeah.
I know this is a busy time for us here in Florida. A lot of families are coming in for the holidays. They want to do Christmas photos. They want to do holiday photos. They want to meet their families. And so I use Fundy like quite a bit in my work. I had a friend text me last night and asked me, should I spend the money on Fundy or should I spend the money on like a new camera bag? And I go, this is you can't ask me these things because like I love the brand that she chose for her camera bag and Fundy. I'm like, they both are amazing. Like the bag that she chose was the Think Tank Navigator. And I was like, mine's still like kicking strong after 7 years. And like, God knows how many flights. I think I've taken over like 200 flights with it in those 7 years.
Right.
And then I've been with Fundy for just as long. So I'm kind of like, you should just buy both. They're going to both make you money. So I don't want to keep everyone waiting too long. So I guess like my first favorite feature of Fundy. Now my favorite features of Fundy are anything that helps me save time, because time is money. It allows me to kind of like serve my clients in a way that it's efficient and also allows them to be like amazed. Every time I use Fundy with a client, they're like, how'd you do that? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I do use a combination when I am designing in Fundy with clients. If you guys checked out my first webinar, I talked about my sales process with a client on Zoom. So about 70% of my clients aren't local to where I live, or I'm not local to where they live. So I do welcome a lot of clients into my studio when I am in Naples. However, when I'm traveling, I will be here in my little cubicle in my studio, and I will be talking to them like this on Zoom, and I will be demoing and screen sharing with them and making changes in real life with them through the software. So very rarely do I actually leave Fundy outside of my sales session. So my first tip is, if you don't have the Pro Enhancement like membership, it's beyond retouching. Like you get access to Design Library, you get access to exporting your magazines, you get the card designer designs, you get extra songs for slideshows, you get all these extra perks that don't come with the regular membership. And I don't know a time before I had Pro Enhancements. Like I don't remember. I just know that when I started designing wall art, that there are certain collections in the Design Library, such as like the Steve Saporito collection, the Design and Glow frame collections, that helped me help my clients sell better.
Right, definitely.
So like my number one favorite feature of Fundy is definitely Design Library. Like every time Andrew or one of the Fendi staff posts something in the storyteller group, I get super excited because they're like, oh guys, we just like released 6 more magazine designs for you. Just released 6 more card designs for you. Like, are you downloading it? And I'm over here like, download everything. So a normal sales session for me goes, a client will come in and they'll want to do either an album or wall art. And this is something predetermined already when we have a discussion for their session. So I always have a pre-consult with my clients before they book and ask them, you know, what is our ultimate goal for this session? Are you looking for just social media files? Are you looking for just Christmas cards? Are you looking to update something in your home? Or like, what are we celebrating so I can help you find something that you can put tangibly in your home and that you love? And usually they'll think it's an album. So they'll start with an album and then they'll come into the studio and they'll be like, they'll see all the artwork hanging up. And they're like, okay, well, maybe we also want some artwork. So I'll go through the normal album process with them. I was like, all right, we'll do a slideshow. My next favorite feature is the slideshow. Even if I don't export it and give it to them, the slideshow gives the client a way to connect to their photographs, large and in charge. So we project our photographs on to a wall. And this can also be a TV. If you guys have a TV, it could be your screen. It could be the client's monitor. But the slideshow fills the entire screen. So the first time the client sees their photographs are going to be like in their face, large and in charge, cued to music. And cueing to music is extremely important. It doesn't matter what kind of music you choose. It just has to be some type of music. And my favorite with Fundy is Senior Song 6. I haven't gone through the other songs, but it, without fail, is like the one that works the best for me. So it's not too slow, it's not too fast. And so I like to use that one. And after the slideshow, let's say we do the slideshow, you can automatically cue which things that happen in the slideshow. So you don't have to like come out of the slideshow to like start the album slideshow. You don't have to come out of the album slideshow to start the gallery slideshow. You can have the images go first, followed by the album spreads, followed by the wall art designs, and then you followed by, I think, the card designs too. I have the card design. So like your clients are like falling in love with everything with like solo photos where they like immediately are like attached to these photographs. And then they go into an album where now you have crafted this gorgeous story about their relationship or about their family or about their baby or about whatever's important to them. And then of course that's what they want because they wanted the album. And then the album ends and then they have these wall art pieces that are in the stock rooms that are available to you in the design library, because unless you call ahead and ask for photos in their home, which is another great feature of Gallery Designer, is you can show your clients how to take a picture of a room in their home. I asked them to tape a little printer paper to the wall, and then they take like a decently wide shot. I have a little guide that I send to my clients, like this is how you do it. And I'll have that preloaded with their artwork. Mm-hmm. So I've already pre-designed artwork for them so they can be like, oh my God, that's what it's going to look like in my home. Mm-hmm. And at the very end, let's say it's a newborn, they see like cards with their baby on it. And they have like the name, their child's name, like the information for their kids. And at the end, it goes to like a black screen. So then I exit out and I go, so what do we think? And then they get excited. They tell me about the photos and everything. And then I go, well, do you guys want to go through everything together? Like we'll go slide by slide with your album because that's what you want. So then we'll do each sales session together like that. So we'll go through the albums, make changes as needed. And I go, okay, so I knew that you guys wanted the album, but I know that you guys were really excited about the wall art. So do you want to talk about the wall art? They're like, well, we want to explore the wall art. We want to like talk about the wall art. So another great feature I love about Fundy is they will upsize all your photographs and they'll have the the safe zones and the bleed cuts and everything that you need from the labs within the software. So I don't have to take anything additionally into Photoshop and like upsize things or like measure out the bleeds or measure anything. So I can design with the client, and then I can export everything for print after retouching, and then upload it or send it off or order directly from, like, there are certain labs that you can order directly from in Fundy. And then there's some that I just log into my account and I order directly from them. But then I never have to worry that my photos are going to come out super blurry because they weren't upsized properly, or have to worry about like anything like that, because Fundy takes care of it already. Yeah. So after a gallery designer, I go, are you guys interested in doing thank you cards or anything else? And they're like, well, yeah, we saw the cards. We thought it was great. We thought we were just going to have to do it ourselves. I'm like, well, we can just take care of it right now if you want. And they're like, why are you so good to us? I'm like, I just want to make your life easier. And so then we'll go into the cards. And I love Card Designer because in Fundy, there's already certain like overlays and PNGs that you can create, like graphics that you can put onto the cards to customize it for the client. And then let's say a client's like, I don't quite like that. So that's the only time I leave Fundy is when I open Photoshop to create a graphic for the client specifically. So I will take like a monogram. If they send me a monogram or something for a wedding and they want that monogram on their card, like their thank you card, I can actually have that preloaded into Fundy and then have it drag and drop and design it right in Fundy for the client. Mm-hmm. I've done it for clients' names, such as like a client's like, I like the graphic of this look like a thank you, but I want that with my name. I don't want the actual thank you. So I will have fonts already made up. So I will actually design their name graphic in Photoshop with them there, and then make it a transparent PNG and then upload it into Fundy. Mm-hmm. And like, just the ease of all of this has made my life so much easier. Like, it saves so much time.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
That's a lot of tips, you guys.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's
so
perfect.
A couple of questions. So you're doing your slideshow. So you go through all the photographs from their session. Then you have the album spreads in there. Then wall art, then card designs. That's all in the slideshow.
Yes.
What would be, excuse me, from a portrait session, what would be the average length of your slideshow, would you say?
So it depends on the length of the portrait session. So usually I like to keep my photo, like my portraits, down to under 50 portraits deliverable. Mm-hmm. I mean, not deliverable, but like, this is your gallery, it's 50 photos.
That's what you're showing them, yeah.
That's what I'm showing them. So I'm definitely photographing more than 50 photographs, but my clients have already spoken to me about what they want. So they're like, we want the classic family portrait for like the Christmas card. And then we want more candid, or we want to focus on like these relationships in our lives. Like, and I'm like, okay, so we're going to do like the classic portraits that grandma, grandpa are going to want. And then we're going to have fun and like focus on like what's important amongst each of your family members. And like the laughing, the tickling, the giggling, like all that stuff. And those are the ones that really make the story of the album most impactful. Mm-hmm. Those additional details of like, it's not just this standard look at the camera, smile photo. Those are usually really good for Christmas cards, because it's usually one or two photos that they want on a Christmas card, unless the client's like obsessed with like the candid tickling photo or something with their family. Then they'll put that on instead. And they'll tell me that. They'll be like, I'm not just designing just one card for them. I'm designing multiple cards that I think would be something that they would love from the conversations we've had before the session and how I observed how they are with each other at the session. You know, I do have clients who like a more traditional Christmas card photo or a more traditional family photo. So I always take that as the safety. And then I always provide them something a little bit extra where they're like, this is exactly how I see like my relationship with my son, or this is exactly how I love seeing my daughter with my husband. And those are the ones that really make it in the album. they do make it sometimes in the wall art if I design it correctly, meaning I'm successfully able to place it in a collection that they are like, all of this. I want all of this in my house.
Nice. And then, so you talked about design library, pro enhancements, slideshows, and also bleeds and safe zones. And you were also going to, I think, did you say you were going to talk about retouching?
Okay, so
yes.
Oh wait, do you have something you can show us as well? Are you going to pull up Fundy and show us anything, or if you just want to talk about it, that's cool too.
Actually, yes, I will. I actually have a piece of wall art I need to retouch right now anyway.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Great.
Let me pull in. So a lot of studios don't do this, or they do this. I don't know very many. Please pipe up if you do. I'm from a commercial background, so I'm used to having things be very specifically retouched, meaning hotel, like in an album, for example, hotel exit signs disappear. Like, they are legal. They are illegal hotel rooms because they don't have exit signs.
Right.
But I don't, and also sometimes I don't have light switches because I find those distracting in that type of wall art or type of like album. So I do love the pro enhancements when I'm retouching or if I'm showing a client what their wall art's going to look like, because it does just a very easy like skin retouch. So a client who's very self-conscious about something is going to be like, that's perfect. And usually that's all I need is just the pro enhancement retouch.
Right.
So when I go into the external editor in Fundy is amazing because you can edit specific photos to show a client. So I'm actually going to pull up a newborn client of mine. Let me just make sure that I have their, I'm going to get there first, you guys, so you guys don't have to look at my back end because it's really disorganized. Okay, where are we? Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah, we're stoked to see it.
Okay, do you guys see this?
Yes.
Yes.
So this was an on-location destination client. So this client, it lives in Orlando, so that's about 3.5, 4 hours away from me. And I drove up there twice. So I drove up once for her underwater session, maternity session, and then I drove up again after, like 6 weeks later, after she gave birth to her son. This is their first child, and this is probably the only child they're going to have. So I do one of two things. While I was up there, I photographed places in their home that they really like. So here's this area that we had talked about where they originally had this like Buddha area here on this wall. So when I speak to a client and I talk to them about like, where would you like this piece of wall art to be? Because we had a long discussion about where she wanted her photographs to live. Because she's like, you know what? We didn't get an album for our wedding because I don't open albums. I don't enjoy my photographs like that. I don't enjoy my photograph. And then like, if you put it on the phone, it's not going to go on Instagram and then it's going to get just drowned out by every other piece of photo I take of my son or every photo that I post on Instagram. So she's like, I would enjoy it better if it was printed and put on my wall. So these are the questions when you ask your clients in your pre-consult is, how best would you like to enjoy your photographs? If you are a digital person and you don't like things on your wall, that's totally okay too. We have, mobile apps that you can have on your phone. There are digital options. Our whole goal is to allow you to enjoy something that you've paid for. I always get weirded out when people are like, I paid $5,000 for my wedding photos and I don't think I even downloaded them from my USB. I'm like, well, how are you enjoying that? You paid $5,000 and it's just sitting on your phone. So these are samples I've done so you'll actually see this. So this piece right here is, I was showing her example of a graphy acrylic block as a possible frame replacement on her table in the size that she would see. So like she has other frames here, and because we had talked, she's like, I don't want to mix up the underwater photos with the parent, like the family photos. It's just, and I'm really adamant about being like, we have to keep it one story. Like we have to really focus on like one part. You can't mix up like two shoots. You have to do like one shoot. So they didn't choose this one. But see, like I was like, I guess we can like work on this. So this is one that I was like, here's a possible solution that we can have to this. And she's like, and this is the faces that they make when we're doing like a Zoom thing. They're like, not the same. And this is the conversation I have with my clients when I'm in the space with them. So I design, when I'm doing actual specific designs, I will change the room to a blank wall. So like if I were to do like this in their bedroom, for example, that's how I was like, this is how big it's going to look. But they can't see this if they're on like a really small monitor. So I will do something like this that allows them to see the actual design a little better. So that's a good way, you guys, to kind of overcome the limitations of a smaller screen if your clients are on like a smaller laptop, for them to at least see like what you're designing.
That's a really good tip.
That is.
Yeah. I mean, you can try and make this bigger, but it's not like, it messes up your proportions and everything. And then you're like annoyed with yourself, and you don't want to be flustered when you're working with your clients.
Right, exactly.
So these are designs and stuff that I had come up with her. This was one that this is the actual nursery. So I went to every room that they're like, we would want something in this space.
You're really good at training your clients to take good room view.
I took these.
Oh, you took them. Oh, you were there when you took them. Oh, okay. I was like, man, those look really good.
But they are really
But these are the example photos that I send to a client, and I go, you want to step XYZ back, you want to make sure that the lines are leveled, and you want to make sure, so I tell, like, I have an actual form that I like have like written out with photographs to show clients how to do this, because I can't be there.
Right.
So like I had a client do, here, let me just do like a new room for example, you guys see the little table?
Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes a client will forget, and they'll say something like this. So then on the phone with them, or when I'm on like Zoom with them, I'll say, since you're home, can you just go measure like how big this table is?
Right.
Like really quickly. And they'll be like, cool. So when you're adding in a room, sorry, I pushed the wrong button. This is the button here. Do you guys see this? To add a room. So when you're adding in a room, I'm just let's see if I have like a random photo. I don't. I don't have a random photo. Okay, we're gonna just use this photo. Okay, so pretend this is a room, you guys. I know it's a picture of me, but this is all I have. Let's pretend that this actual photo right here is a 5x7.
Okay. So
I'll ask them for that measurement. So in Fundy, you can actually just take these little measurement things like this. And this is one of my favorite features too. And you just tell them it's 7 inches across. Next. The room is too small for gallery designer to use. So let's just pretend, now we're going to change it. So I know that this is 7 inches across, so we're just going to do like 21 inches right here or something. Okay, it legit rejected this. But the idea is,
that's a good idea.
I mean, we could just guess perfect. Like that table's.
Right, so I'll just pretend like this table is 54 inches across.
Okay.
So I will measure from here to here, which is 54 inches. Right. And then it will produce like a little square of like my design area.
Exactly.
So from there, this one, she has said, I think a 20 by 30 would work. So I would go into a photo with them, and this is another great thing. See, this is 16 by 12. So I'll do like a 20, sorry.
20 by 12, 30 by 20, awesome.
So then I'll go here and I go, look, you guys, it looks perfectly proportionate to your space. You were totally correct. The 20 by 30 is going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and but some clients don't think that. They are so used to seeing like an 8 by 10 or a 20 by 16, or like they feel overwhelmed when they see like a 20 by 30 or anything larger, because they've never actually had pieces that large in their home.
Right.
Or if they do buy big pieces, they get like a 24 by 36 from like Target, Marshalls, whatever, and they're like, it's still so big. So I always want to make sure that when we are designing for their space, that it looks proportionate to not only their wall where they want to place it, but also the piece looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So like if this was their home, I'd be like, you know what? This colorway doesn't look too terrible if this was your baby and you wanted to do this. But I feel like, you know, we're just going to try it out. We're just going to, like, that's a little softer with all of like your wooden features and everything, because you don't have gray. I was like, we can also try and do something like this, which kind of goes with the blues in your space. So you're kind of also playing like a little baby like designer when you're doing it. You are the designer, you're the artist. You want to make sure that your work is beautifully represented in your client's home. So you have to be, and this is just elevated service.
Mm-hmm.
But a client would be like, if they see this, I mean, they can always do it themselves, but they don't know how to use Fundy.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they know how to use Fundy, they don't want to.
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I hire photographers to photograph for me every year. And sometimes I wish they would ask me like where I would like to see these photographs, so that when I tell them I would love to have them in my living room above my couch, that they would photograph for a collection or
Mm-hmm.
photograph for that wall.
Right.
So that for when we do this together with them, it doesn't make it difficult for me to like make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get really overwhelmed really easily when it comes to like, here's 55 photos. We need to like pick your favorite like 10 and then like put it in your album. I'm like, like I can't. Like, okay, can you help me guide? Like, can you guide me through that?
Right.
And that's just who I am.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Can
really
you,
good point.
Q&A question just came in from the participants. Can you explain how to change the size? I think that's from Sandy. I think, Sandy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she wants you to, can you go back in there and where you changed it from,
I think
it was like a 6 by
when you
12.
change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly, where you
It's
click
Sandy,
on.
it's Sandy, right?
Yeah, Sandy. Thank you for your question, Sandy.
All right. So Sandy, this one's really cool. So you'll just have to click on the photo itself, and then you see this little like pencil on the bottom right. You click that, and then you're able to change the size as needed. So I'm set for inches. You'll have to someone else that's a little more versed with me will help you change it to centimeters if you are in metric. But I think I just had a default for inches. So I would just change. So if I want to make it bigger, I would just make it like, let's do 40. Actually, let's do 60 by 40. See, this is already way too big. So
Or they just need to clear their wall.
well, then it wouldn't feel balanced over a 54-inch.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, unless nothing else is on this wall,
They need to buy a bigger table.
Yeah.
I am very mindful of my clients' decor. I will argue with this. If they go, this is beautiful, I'm like, you can have it, but you're gonna have to change your whole decor item, like your whole decor.
Buy a table and
And buy these things. And then I was like, I can't help you past that.
yeah.
But sometimes I'll tell a client will fight me and they'll be like, no, I really think a 20 by 16 is gonna look good. So let's just pretend that this is a 20 by 16. I was like, you can have a 20 by 16. And I told him that. I was like, you can have a 20 by 16. This is what it's going to look like. Are you okay with that? Because
Nice.
it's going to look proportionate and it's not going to look nice.
Yeah.
My job is not to tell you, spend all this money or like things. Like my job is to make sure that whatever you order is something that you're going to look at every day and be like, that looks beautiful in my home. Not, I wish I would have just listened to Anna and got the 20 by 30 because it is kind of small. Because now if she wanted to move it, she would have to like move this here and then like add like maybe like a 11 by 14 here. So another thing is you can drop this in here, Sandy, and you could design this with your clients just like this. So then you do this. So if they tell you, yeah, I'm really gung-ho about having a 20 by 16, okay, no problem.
Awesome.
So you can like, so this is really powerful for me because I have the ability to do this with my clients on location when we're together.
Exactly.
So I do like this one. I'll show you guys this one. So this is a setup I really love. Oh, not this one. So I'll do this with them. I was like, if you're gonna do this, you gotta move this lamp. So I'll sit there and tell them that. And then let's find.
Nice.
So something like this with them.
Right. Exactly.
But there we go. So now it's a little even. So I'll be like, okay, well, we can do like this. And then you'll have to move your lamp. And they're like, that's fine. I'll move it to the other side. But they see how this would look. And I was like, okay, so this is what your wall is going to look like. So you'll just have to move this piece over at least another inch. And then obviously you might have to like move this candle over here.
Right.
And then maybe we can actually probably, if you're going to do that, I would move this over 2 or 3 inches. And then you would move this over here so that your lamp doesn't actually like take away from the art piece. And then this little item here can go over here.
Exactly.
And then they're like, God, you're just the most amazing thing ever.
You are.
So we've had you for about 30 minutes, but I know you also wanted to talk about grids on the albums, right? Or what else do you want to touch on? You talked about the design library slideshows. We just went through.
We didn't talk about the external editor. Hold on. Okay, so.
Oh, the retouching? Okay.
Retouching. So for example, fun fact, you guys, if you ever need to like show a client like something big, large, and in charge, like an art piece, just double click on it. And it'll show like this. So you can make like small adjustments and stuff. Mm-hmm. So like, then you can also click on the actual image and it'll open up the pro enhance, like the design, the retouching thing. You go to edit and I just use intelligent retouch really quickly. And it just clears the skin a little bit. It just gives a little bit more smoothness. For me personally, for this particular photo, I'm going to see these little red dots here in the baby's face, these like additional like items that are going to be distracting for the family. I will then, like this area right here, the mom's going to be a little bit more like, I wish you would have taken care of that before you printed my art piece. Mm-hmm. You see this pencil right here on the very bottom of the photo? So each photo has like a little pencil. This one is done this way, and I'll tell you guys in a little bit why I did that in the design process. But this pencil, you can click on this. And I have it set to open into Photoshop because I do all my retouching in Photoshop. So then I can do like all the retouching I need to do. You know, I can do whatever I need to do. If there's like random stray hairs everywhere, you know, I'm just doing like a quick thing for you guys. Then when I'm done, I can save it. This will actually save in the original place you placed your file, and then it will replace that file in Fundy. So if you have this saved on like a desktop or a Dropbox or a hard drive, as long as this is plugged in, whatever you edit, that will save on your actual original copy, and then it'll actually change in Fundy. So you guys seen the change here.
Yep, that's awesome.
So
do you take care of that bush before you show the photographs, or just for the ones that they print?
Just for the ones they print. So I only do the retouching for the ones they print.
Yeah, awesome.
So when I did this with the client, I made this mistake, is I didn't give, when I photographed the mother and the child, more room, more breathing room, like I did the dad. So when they chose this photo for dad and they chose this photo for mom, what I need to do on my end is I need to extend this background for her in post. That's my problem that I have to deal with. That's beyond retouching for most people. But what I really, really love about Fundy as well is that you see this wrench here. You can click on this, and this, you can zoom it in like this.
Great.
Yeah.
So you can fill the frame. And then if they're totally cool with like dad not losing half his head, then you can do like this. And now it looks even.
Nice. Yeah.
That's perfect.
So if you have a photograph that you're like, you need to really focus on like the details, or like maybe really want to highlight baby, you can do something like this. You know, and it can actually help also with a little bit of retouching of items that you don't want to like redo.
Exactly.
I'm gonna put this back so I don't forget, because the things I need to do. This is an order that I need to do and haven't been fulfilled. So
great. Well, thank you so much for showing that.
That's awesome.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, so we have one question which you kind of touched on in the beginning, which we'll give to you in a second, but just to kind of recap what your favorite features are. Again, we talked about the design library, pro enhancements, slideshows. You just showed us retouching. You also showed us room views and how you can easily resize photographs for wall art. So on that note, we have a question from the Q&A. How do you prepare your clients to buy the wall art, etc.? How do you start your sale? And I know you talked about how you start with the slideshow, and you're also, doing really good communication up front. But can you give just a quick general answer to that one?
Yes. So everything starts with the communication before the session and before the booking even happens. So if you are planning on selling wall art or if you're used to selling albums and you feel comfortable selling albums, then you're like kind of pretty much like, I'm good to go. So when I first started selling wall art, I didn't have a lot of photos of samples. My clients didn't order a ton of wall art. I was really uncomfortable selling wall art, even though I was already selling albums and they were thrilled with the album products. So to get my clients excited and to get me excited about that was I started designing wall pieces in Fundy with my clients' photos that I had for marketing in their stock rooms. And then I would post them on Instagram and social media, and I would tag my clients and be like, this is so beautiful. I wish this was in your home. And then those clients would call and be like, wait, you can do that? Or this is so great. I can't wait to have this for myself. And it kind of gets the buzz going. So when you start buying, if you eventually open your own studio, you're going to have to design your studio art pieces, like your actual samples. So I highly recommend ordering samples, even if you have a home studio or you're on location, of just maybe 1 or 2 collections that are easy to transport and easy to bring to your clients' homes or for clients to see. So my clients already know, and every time you get a client order in, record videos of you opening it. Record your clients' expressions when they see it. Record the installation. Like, you have to share these things on your social media and on your website so clients know that this is what you do. So that when you talk to them, they're already kind of prepared that you provide art, wall art. So when you ask them, where do you ultimately want to see these photographs? Where would you like to enjoy them in your home? What's the whole reason of this photo shoot? And sometimes clients will be stumped. They'll be like, oh, well, I just do yearly photographs of my kids. And I'm like, okay, well, do you have those printed out in your home? Like, are you an 8x10 person? Are you an 11x14 person? Do you have actual artwork in your home you need to update? So these are all things you kind of like have to prepare your client for, so they know ahead of time. I'm very transparent when it comes to pricing. I tell my client, they get a price sheet of like the sizes beforehand, and I give them like kind of like a walkthrough what we do. I was like, we're going to design for your wall art because this is what we've discussed already. And I'm very no pressure salesperson. So I go, we don't have to do wall art. I don't care if you leave with an 8x10. I was like, but I really want you to enjoy your photographs and enjoy them in a way that we've discussed, which is the wall art. And you know how much it costs. So there's very little surprises because you're doing a lot of managing expectations before they actually have the session. And that is the most important part, is you have to manage their expectations. Because when I was starting out, I didn't manage them very well, and it made me feel dirty about it, and it made my clients feel uncomfortable. I guess the term is not dirty, it just felt like I felt like I wasn't serving my clients the way that they should be served.
Yeah, it can be really confusing for
Right.
you and for your clients
Right.
if you don't have clear communication and there's not an expectation up front. Like if they don't know that they're coming in to do, design wall art, and then you spend 20, 30 minutes in your, design session designing wall art that they don't even want, and then they don't buy, you're just wasting everybody's time as well.
Right.
So it's awesome when your clients come in and you both know exactly what they want. Like, hey, we're designing an album today. Or, hey, we're designing whatever,
Right. And sometimes clients will come in for an album and they'll be wowed by the wall art,
Right.
but they weren't prepared to purchase wall art.
Right.
So I always tell my clients, I'm like, this is something, if you need to think about it because you're getting the album, like you can leave. Like they can walk out anytime. Am I leaving money on the table? Yes. But am I making myself feel more comfortable with my clients and making sure that they are trustworthy of this? Trustworthy of our relationship, that I'm not going to take advantage of them? Absolutely. I had a senior client come in May for her session. Her parents bought one piece. They came back 2 months later and they bought another piece from the same session. And they saw another piece on my wall as a sample that they want in the spring to put in their new home. That they're like, these people came in and they were like, we have a pretty set budget and we only need one art piece for her debut ball and like for in our home. And we have a small home. We have a 2-bedroom apartment, we live in a condo. And here they are going like, absolutely, we want this next big piece. Also, we want that piece. But you know what? Like I came and installed the second piece for them and they were so thrilled. They were like, okay, so like I cleared this wall over here for that one piece in your studio. Like I'm waiting. Also, we have a home that's currently being rented right now, but like I think we're going to move into it. So like when that happens, what do we do with the other pieces? I'm like, I will arrange for professional installation to come and remove your professional pieces from your condo to be installed professionally in your new home. And then I will bring the piece that you love so much from the studio and I'll install it in your new home as well.
Nice.
And this is from one session. This is just one session. And it's just the way you care for your clients and the way you manage the expectations and giving them permission to spend the money that they want to spend. Like I'm not their bank. I'm not their conservatorship. I'm not their mom. I just say, if you want it and you can afford it, absolutely. If you want it, but you can't afford it, I was like, we have payment plans. We have, you can pay with a credit card. I was like, these are just here are your opportunity, your options to pay. Mm-hmm. And you have to make the decision. I'm like, I don't make the decision. You make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, can I show one more? I know it's 10 tips of my favorite things. But
okay, it's great.
When I travel, I have I use Graphy Studios as my wall art supplier. So I actually ordered these pieces. I just wanted to show you guys that I bring with me when I travel to destination clients.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. So I limit my what I carry from the Graphy line because you can get really overwhelmed. They have a lot of materials. So I think when you limit your choices for your clients, you're actually helping them make better choices, that they're not overwhelmed by what it is. So first off, depending on their home and my discussions with them about the decor, I'll recommend acrylic or I'll recommend canvas. And if they want a canvas gallery, you know, we talk about all this with them. So I have these 6x6 pieces from Graphy. So this is their canvas gallery wrap. I'm like obsessed with these because they're like completely clean and beautiful. So every single one of my sample pieces have a certificate of authenticity on the back. So the clients know exactly what it's going to look like when it's delivered to their home. I have them in all the sizes I carry, all the finishes, and I use the same photo so the client doesn't get confused. They're like, okay, this is what this picture is going to look like on a canvas gallery. This is what this picture is going to look like on a matte acrylic. This is what a certificate of authenticity is going to look like on the wood fiber. I think it's ebony. And like, okay, this is a Canvas Pro. Like I can touch it. Like, and I do this all the time with my clients. I'm like, this is why we carry the gallery wraps from Graphy. And I go, and I'm like punching this thing. And they're like, what is that, wood? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. So these are samples for me. So these are things that I allow to get beat up and carried and touched and like things. So a client understands that like we provide quality products. Right. And I share my wall art, I share my gallery, I share everything I can on social media to get excited because I'm excited. When these pieces come in, I get so excited and your clients share in your joy.
Yes.
Nice.
You're amazing.
Awesome.
We adore you. You're just so awesome.
Yeah. So I think we'll leave it there. If anyone watching has additional questions, you can always comment on the video, which will be stored on Facebook where it's live right now, and just make sure you tag somebody from Fundy crew or Anna or Amy or I, and then we'll make sure that question answered. Yep. And where can people connect with you on social media?
So you can find me at Zeeanna Photo, Zeeanna Photo on Instagram. I'm actually pretty involved in the storyteller group as well. So if you have any questions, you can always just tag me there on Facebook. You can add me on Facebook, but unless we have like a million mutual friends and we met in person, I usually don't approve it.
Yeah.
I also have a private Instagram, like, so you can try and add me there. But again, if I don't know you, I don't really add you to that. But you're welcome to DM me on Instagram at Zeeanna Photo. You're welcome to tag me on Facebook, and any of your questions, please tag me so I can see it. And then obviously, if you have a question, if you have a question about Fundy itself, or you need advice about something, please, post in the storyteller group, because I see those all the time. And even though I don't work for Fundy, I really love the program because in 2014, like Fundy Andrew showed me how to use the software in person. And that was so nice of him. And it's kind of like made me a super loyal customer because the founder of Fundy took his time to show me how to like design an album, and it blew my mind. And I was like, you were so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super nice. And he answers a lot of questions in the group as well.
Yeah.
And we're big fans of their support staff. They answer questions really quickly.
Yes.
And if anybody watching, if you're going to WPPI or any of the other major conferences, make sure you stop by the Fundy booth because they'll run through an example or the whole thing with you as well. So yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thanks again, Anna. You're the best.
You are.
And have a beautiful day, everyone.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. We love you guys. Have an awesome week.